On the 30th of October 2023, with updates given a week later, on the 6th of November 2023, the UK government, and specifically Treasury, the FCA or Financial Conduct Authority, the Bank of England and its Prudential Regulation Authority, or PRA, released its plans on how it will regulate stablecoins in the UK. And links to these reports you can find in the description here, should you want to read them. Treasury states that putting stablecoin regulation in place will stimulate growth and innovation in the sector by giving regulatory certainty, whilst mitigating financial risks and therefore protecting consumers. Put simply, the UK government intends to regulate the use of fiat-backed stablecoins and include them in UK payment chains to make transactions faster and cheaper. It states, as you can see here, that certain stablecoins have the potential to become a widespread means of retail payment, driving consumer choice and efficiencies. Treasury, the FCA and the Bank of England state that stablecoins are an innovation that could become widely used for payments in the future. And this is actually my third video on UK crypto regulation, with the first one focusing on the regulation coming into the UK and the travel rules that you can see a link to here, and the second video focusing more on the change in tax reporting for crypto in the UK, again that you can see a link to here, with both links also being in the description below. So please do like this video and subscribe to the channel, so I can continue to offer more content for you in future. And let's jump straight in and take a look at these UK stablecoin regulations in more detail. So what does the UK stablecoin regulation entail? This regulation will include both mixed stablecoin payments, where you're on-ramping or off-ramping using fiat, such as GBP, USD or the Euro for example, and it's converted using the payment chain you're using, and also pure stablecoin payments, where both ends of the transaction are in stablecoin and the transfer of value occurs in stablecoin. This set of regulations will cover the purchase of a service or a good using stablecoins, both online and physically, for example in shops. So it covers commercial transfers rather than peer-to-peer transfers of stablecoins, e.g. from person to person. It doesn't include the purchase of a stablecoin using fiat currency either. So basically, we're looking at this regulation covering when you buy something using a stablecoin. And my question here would be, how many transactions are actually taking place that would fulfill this criteria? And worryingly, former Deputy Governor for the Bank of England, Sir John Cunliffe, gave a speech in April of 2023, admittedly months before the proposed rules were published, but he talked about potentially limiting the amount that you could hold and transact using stablecoins. And geographically, the UK stablecoin legislation will cover UK consumers when they make a payment, or at least one end of the transaction is in the UK, and UK businesses facilitating stablecoin transactions, even if this takes place outside the UK. So these transactions involving a fiat-backed stablecoin issued in or from the UK would be regulated activities and would include overseas stablecoins that are used in UK payments for goods and services. Treasury, so the UK government, which the current Prime Minister Rishi Sunak used to be the head of as Chancellor from 2020 to 2022, will ensure that the FCA and the Bank of England too, if needed, will require fiat-backed stablecoin operators or companies to hold their backing assets in statutory trusts to ensure visibility, that rules and regulation can be put upon them and that custody is ensured. For example, where they're stored, the reserve requirements, and how and when these backing assets can be used. The Bank of England states that stablecoin issuers shouldn't receive interest on central bank deposits or pay interest to holders of the stablecoin. And the PRA states that if deposit-taking entities, so for example banks, if they want to issue regulated stablecoins, then they'll need to do this from a separate company and not directly, to ensure they're separate and there's no confusion for the user. If the regulated stablecoin issuer fails, the Insolvency Act would apply for UK issuers of fiat-backed stablecoins, and the FCA would have powers to protect consumers and take action as part of this, whether they're operating in or are from the UK. Individual holders of a stablecoin wouldn't receive, though, the same level of protection as they would holding money in a bank with the deposit insurance that exists. Each fiat-backed stablecoin business would also be required to collect and report data regarding the number of payment transactions that were made using a particular stablecoin. But what is a fiat-backed stablecoin? Well, according to the UK government, it's a cryptocurrency that pegs its value to a fiat currency, such as the US dollar, British pound, or euro, for example, and holds fiat currency, either completely or partially, as backing for that stablecoin. And it doesn't matter what currency the stablecoin is in, so that could include, although it's questionable, the two largest stablecoins in existence today by market cap, which have over $115.8 billion in market cap size between them at the time of recording this video, and they are obviously USDT, run by Tether, and Circle's USDC, neither of which are actually based in the UK. However, this regulation doesn't include algorithmic stablecoins or crypto-backed stablecoins, such as DAI or FRAX, for example, which will come under the wider crypto regulations coming into force for cryptocurrencies, as they don't classify them as truly stable. This regulation will also not include commodity-linked cryptocurrencies, such as PAX-G or PAX-Gold, for example, I presume, which will either come under existing commodity regulations if it meets the required definition, and if not, they again will fall under the broader cryptocurrency regulations the UK government's putting in place. Although they're not doing so now in phase 1 of its regulations, Treasury will look at potentially regulating these stablecoins in phase 2, which it published plans for in February of 2023. And we're likely to hear more about this in 2024 once the first phase of regulations has been legislated or has come into effect. To note is that the UK government will also be apparently looking at NFTs and utility tokens in the future in terms of regulation. And who will actually oversee this UK stablecoin regulation? Will Treasury state that fiat-backed stablecoins will be regulated mainly by the FCA, but also by the Bank of England and the Payment Systems Regulator, or PSR, which already regulates the payments from giants like Visa, MasterCard, and the BACS payment system, as you can see here. And when is this stablecoin regulation due to come into force? Well, the FCA is consulting on these stablecoin regulations on its website as we speak, and this consultation closes on the 6th of February 2024, should you want to have your say, after which legislation will be put forward as soon as possible in 2024 with a view to implementing it as soon as possible afterwards. So that ends this video looking at the proposed stablecoin regulations in the UK. But as always, I'd love to know what you think in the comments below. Do you see the benefit of stablecoin regulation if it leads to faster, cheaper, and easier transactions in the UK and across borders? For example, large payment companies like PayPal could offer payments in stablecoins if it's cheaper for them and the user. Can you see it leading to stablecoin providers such as USDT and USDC registering in the UK so they can operate and interact with partners in a fully legal capacity, which they may not have elsewhere? Or will it have the opposite effect and drive stablecoin projects offshore and away from the UK? Or are these proposed rules just too general for now, so we actually need more clarity? For example, can you store and use stablecoins in any currencies, in any countries, or just UK regulated ones? And is there a limit on how much you can store and transact with? How will the UK be able to manage foreign stablecoin providers and hold them to account if they're not based in the UK? Or do we simply just not need regulation in the area of stablecoins and there's no real point to this? For example, what problem does it really solve? And if you're interested in more of a tailored approach to your crypto education, and you think you'd benefit from having someone look over your shoulder and guide you on your journey, I do offer one-to-one coaching to those who have the desire and the means to educate themselves further. And there are links in the description below where you can message me and book in a free video call to see if we'd be a good fit. And if you found this content interesting, please do like the video and subscribe to the channel, as it really does help, and have a great day.